So you had Suzanne Morphew. Suzanne Morphew had gone missing, and Suzanne Morphew was a wife of, a prominent, wealthy. They were doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. Barry Morphew. And Barry Morphew had to go to jail for 5 months. Barry Morphew was the one that was being accused of murdering Suzanne Morphew. They found some DNA, and the DNA didn't go to him. So the DNA was actually exculpatory. The DNA was exculpatory, and they should have quashed the thing, but they kept on pressing and kept on pressing. And even if he's not guilty, I feel like he's got. It's kind of crazy. The DA's office is damned if you do, damned if you don't. You got to try, right? You got to try, right? Give it the old college try. It's kind of crazy that they're going to make the arrest. So they thought they had enough evidence. They made the arrest. And then when they came to, trying to do the case, they didn't have enough evidence for the case. And then they released them. And now they're being sued. Now the prosecutor's office is being sued because they made Barry Morphew look like an asshole. They made Barry Morphew look like he was guilty. So let's read some of the details here. CBS News is reporting Suzanne Morphew case. Husband who was accused of murder files complaint against the prosecutors. The complaint has been filed with the Colorado Office of Attorney Regulation Counsel against the prosecutors in a case that received national attention. Barry Morphew of Chaffee County, Colorado is not only the prime suspect in a case, as he was also charged with the murder of his wife Suzanne. The announcement 2 years ago came from the 11th Judicial District Attorney Linda Stanley. This is all about Suzanne, her family, all the individuals who knew her and cared about her. The case was dismissed after prosecutors said that they needed more time to find Suzanne Morphew's body. Now, EYTAN has filed an 83-page complaint. EYTAN, EYTAN, filed an 83-page complaint with the state Supreme Court against direct prosecutors in a case including Stanley. The district prosecutors, they went through a year putting Mr. Morphew behind bars in a cage for 5 months, concealing evidence of innocence. EYTAN says that they included information about DNA found in Suzanne's car. The DNA didn't match Barry Morphew, but it matched other individuals in unsolved sex offense cases in this country, she said. EYTAN is a part of an organization called Protect Ethical Prosecutors. She claimed ethics were violated with pretrial publicity, failure to turn over evidence, timely manner, other matters with the case. My request is that they take seriously my request to disbar these prosecutors, Eaton said. Barry Morphew has been free since the charges were dropped, but there's the possibility they could be refiled if new evidence emerges. The CBS News Colorado reached out to Linda Stanley's office, but never received a reply. The DA shouldn't be talking to the damn fucking media unless they have a press conference. And if you got a press conference, invite the media, and then they can ask their questions. And get used to the media, doing press conferences with the media. Now, they're mentioning the DNA evidence. I just want to read off a list of proper admissible evidence. Here's the evidence that you cannot admit. You can't admit hypnotic trances, polygraph tests, collateral conjecture evidence, or QEEG testing, 1997 Trend v. Hilburn. Appeals decision and no voice print analysis. No voice print analysis. So what are you allowed to admit into? The DNA thing. They're talking about DNA. You can admit DNA. DNA evidence from multiplex DNA testing systems. That's the 2001 Shrek decision. You can also admit videotape, fingerprints, thermostat, 3 weapons in a holster, circumstantial evidence as well as direct evidence. Photos are okay. Video fluoroscopy is okay. Eyewitness testimonies is admissible. Evidence of threats against witness. Evidence of witness's fear of retaliation is proper and admissible. Dog tracking evidence is okay, proper and admissible. Video animation. Some experiments. Gang affiliation. What's your gang affiliation? Those are admissible. The defendant's own statement is held admissible. Berger, Levy, 1983. Coroner's report and death certificates. Kelly Blue Book. That's important with the Kelly Blue Book because that's how much is this car worth? Well, according to the Kelly Blue Book, if it was in, tip-top shape, it's worth $3,000. So that's a good control. Kelly Blue Book is a good control. The coroner's report, that's interesting too. This is good for the police to know. If the police know what evidence to collect, or if the people know what evidence that they should be looking for. Cell phone information, text messages, Facebook messages, and promissory notes. Really any kind of communications and a promissory note that was held to be admissible too. So those are just some things that's admissible in the Colorado Rules of Evidence. Now, interesting about the two things, let's see, with this story here. The Eaton, I like this lawyer filing these things, 83 pages, that's nice. Is she getting paid? Is she getting paid some good money for this? Barry Morphew of Chaffee County, Colorado. So they said that they filed the 83 complaint with the state Supreme Court. And then they are also saying that they had filed it, let's see, with the Office of Attorney Regulation Counsel. The Office of Attorney Regulation Counsel. All right. So all those Denver offices, they'll say how important they are, but if they never come around, not really. But if they're active, if they got some activist bureaucrats in there, watch out. Office of Attorney Regulation Counsel. That's where the complaint went to. And then the last thing they had mentioned was she wanted to disbar the prosecutors. They're the DA. They're not going to get disbarred, but it's not good to get, those complaints. And also, by filing the case, this will make Linda Stanley better because she'll say, well, next time they have a higher profile case, she'll do better. Hopefully, right? Hopefully she'll learn from the case. You don't just turn it all over to the media immediately, right? In fact, you probably should keep it all quiet maybe a month before trial if you want to talk to the media. And if you're trying to get more information, you want to talk to the media. And if you're innocent, if your client is innocent, you want to talk to the media. So, R.I.P. to Suzanne Morphew. I hope they find Suzanne Morphew. If there is other DNA evidence there, who does that DNA evidence suggest? I trust DNA evidence a lot of times. I mean, you'll need to know the science or who did what. But when they say that they got hair, I would think hair, right? DNA isn't just blood, but it's also hair. But they got somebody's DNA in her car. Somebody's DNA was found in her car that wasn't Barry Morphew. That's pretty strong exculpatory evidence right there. And that would suck. I mean, ultimately, it's like, what's the truth, right? You got to have the truth before you can go on with either way. But if he's not guilty, then yeah, then they fucked with him. And if he's not guilty, we'll presume he's innocent until proven guilty. So we'll presume he's innocent. Then that means the real killer's out there and they wasted all that time going after Barry Morphew and doing all this paperwork and shit when the real killer's out there. If they would have spent all that time going after the criminals, then they would have actually got ourselves the presence of just, we would have had ourselves a fair and just society.